Last week saw us enter the Tyne on one engine. This week we make it all the way back to Hull.
So we've decided this afternoon to head down to Harlepool. We're going to give Whitby a miss this time round and go straight to Harlepool. We've checked the weather this morning and we've checked the weather earlier and we've checked the weather again before we've set off. It looks like we're going to have did you say easterly, northeasterly?
Easterlies today.
Easterly winds, which shouldn't get up higher than about force 3. We should have the tide with us, so therefore it should be a lot smoother ride than it was yesterday. Dave's been working on our problem engine this morning, and fingers crossed. But I'm only crossing one because it's bad luck to cross 2. He's got that sorted, but it looks like over winter it is definitely a new tank that's going in there.
So ahead of us is Harlepool. So it's Saturday morning, I think. We're in Harlepool now, came in yesterday afternoon. We're going to have a couple of days here. We're just feeling a bit tired, and I still having problems with the starboard fuel tank. We were running superbly, having a really good run down until we were about 10 mile away, and it just started faltering again. So we just slowed it down to 1500, just above 1500 revs, and she was fine again. So it's just a slight blockage in the feed pipe yet again. That tank is definitely coming out this winter. I can't see any other way of curing this problem. So what it means is we're going to have a very slow ponderous run back to Hull. We'll probably go to Scarborough from here. We'll see. We might bob into Whitby. Just depends on the tides and everything else. And just take our time. But it will be a long run back into Hull. That's the only problem. So it's been great though. Winds today just picking up again. There's supposed to be no wind today according to yesterday's forecast, so we're just going to have to pick our times when we go. I'm hoping the swing back to the west a little bit, which will give us a bit of protection from the shore. And the noises behind is one of the workboats here. That one over there, they're working. Be one of the wind farm vessels. In Harlepool Marina is MV Watchful, which was one of the Dunkirk small ships. This was MV Coronia, but was laid up in Scarborough after 2010. Went into disrepair. It was bought by Graham, who is busy restoring it. To bring extra funds in, they've opened it as tea rooms and small cafe.
I've just increased the size slightly so I could have the console. Because before the wheel was set like here, back off the front of the wheelhouse. So by doing it this way, we've kept the lines, and we've also given ourselves a little bit more space. And what you see is what you got. It's comfortable enough,
Yeah.
You can make a shaky down both way if you need to. A few little additions. So sorry about my cough. It's just
That's all right.
The brass telegraph was the original from 1935, and the ship's wheel has been with it all its life.
Wow.
And we've just fitted an autopilot for the Dunkirk trip.
Yeah.
Everything works as it did before. You can use the telegraph if you want to communicate with the engine room. And I've also fitted a new system of lights, which I don't want to go ahead now. I just cancel the neutrals, give the engineer a call, and then he'll engage your head when I ask for a head starboard, ask for a head port. He puts it into gear. Well, I've got all the revs now, which we didn't have before, you know, it just makes the boat a lot easier to handle.
Yeah.
When you want to give her a kick, you can give her a kick, you know. Bear in mind, you only have 115 horsepower on them engines, and this is an 88 ton boat.
Yeah.
So things tend to work a bit slower than you'd expect. Yeah, but all in all, it's come together. I've put electric hydraulic steering in as well as hand hydraulic, and we also have the tiller that goes on aft, should everything fail.
Yep.
Yeah, but she's no longer a passenger boat anymore, she's just a private boat now. But she was a Class 5 passenger boat for most of her working life in Scarborough. Went into Dunstan's dry dock in Hull in 2005, and Tom Marshall runs Scarborough Steamers. He had 40,000 available, one plate in this one and two in the Regal Lady. This one came out of the dry dock for the border trade inspection 115 grand later, and Tom couldn't pay the bill. You know, he said to the yard, "You better just keep the ship. I'm 75-year-old now. You know, I've known Tom all my life, like, he's a bit of a character." And the yard said, "No, Tom, look, we don't want to keep the ship. You take it back to Scarborough, we'll do your best to pay us, because they will try and chase the debt, you know." Because 115,000 a lot of money, you pull the yard down with that, you know. And it was in the Scarborough Evening News, Dunkirk little ship gets into financial difficulties. And it was Robert Goodwill, the MP for Whitby and Scarborough, who lives on the outskirts of York, who actually paid the bill for the yard. His father came back from Dunkirk, but he never knew on which ship. So of course that left me, come the time to buy this off Scarborough Steamers. Scarborough Steamers didn't actually own her. Tom said no, it actually belongs to Robert Goodwill still, which was only ever leased to me after he paid the bill. She steamed on another 5 years in Scarborough. In 2010, which was the death wish for any Class 5 passenger boats on the East Coast, an EC ruling stopped them sailing more than 10 miles from the home port. So she could no longer sail from Scarborough to Whitby as she always did in the summer months. And she couldn't sail from Scarborough to Brid, as the Yorkshire Belle from Brid came the other way, you know.
Yeah.
So it was left Tom with two boats carrying 150 passengers on hour-and-a-half cruises around Scarborough Bay. And he was the first to tell me, you know, sometimes still with 10 people. You know, he said the footfall in Scarborough is virtually gone now, you know. So he had to make a commercial decision, and Corona got laid up. And when you lay a boat up at this age, she falls into disrepair very, very quickly. But what Tom did, and I'll give him his due for that, was an old fisherman in Scarborough called Joe. And he would let Joe live on board as such, right? He always made sure he had plenty of food, but he wouldn't buy him any drink because he was a bit of an alcoholic. Fisherman, you know, he would be, wouldn't he? All the good food, I'm sure you're aware of all that. But anyway, with Joe being on board, nothing got stolen. The ship's wheel, we even have the brass bell, the original bell for the ship.
Oh, fantastic.
Everything stayed, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, that left us with a problem when I took the ship in Pauline, like. I did ask Pauline if Joe could put an hour back room, but she was going to have none of it. You know, she said, "I'm rather better fisherman in the house." So we got Joe in the Seaman's Mission in Whitby, and he's on 3 square meals a day now. He's centrally heated, all his washing done, and the lady took on his plight for a pension, right? Because he said, "I'm not entitled to a pension." I said, "Oh, you're English, you are entitled to a pension, Joe." He said, "But I never paid a lot of national insurance stamps with the fisherman." He said, "You know, sometimes we made money, most times we didn't." Anyway, this lady took on his plight. He got a full pension, £8,500 in back pension payments that he never knew he could have.
Wow.
So for the first time in his life, he has a bank account with some money in it, you know, and he's living comfortably now, you know. Yeah. So I think it costs him £50 a week in the mission towards his costs.
Yeah.
Getting a full pension now and everything, so he's living the dream, you know. And all his old cronies are there as well. Yeah, so that was good, really. But thanks to Joe. I can't see when I got my daughters and looking at it again. But yeah.
So, super.
So that's where we got to. We would have been ready for Dunkirk, but obviously when the coronavirus come on, France got shut down, and then the UK, and then the volunteers all died off. But I self-isolated on here for 3 months, just cracked on working.
Yeah.
Can't so much detail to tell you what I got this year. There you go, really. We renewed the top bit, we had to, but you know, points out it's 10 persons, 1935.
Yeah.
Border trade approved.
Yeah. Amazing.
Never imagined, would you?
Yeah.
Yes, the brass staircases inside are as good as the day they're put together.
Aye. Yeah.
Put a clinker boat on as well, which is like what she would have had, but that's not original off here.
No. Not only a fantastic little tour, but look at the food. Wonderful. Well worth a visit.
Harlepool are in a light, towing in a stricken vessel, a small fishing boat, I presume has a dead engine.
So we're just leaving Harlepool Marina. Dead ahead is our target, with the wind farm in the mist.
So as you can see, it is really nice out here today. Dave's left me totally and utterly in charge because he's just had to go downstairs and do some work. And I don't mean working on the engines or anything like that. I mean actual work. Because Dave's semi-retired, so he still does a little bit every so often. And even though we are about 3-4 miles offshore, he still gets messages and orders, requests for information, and everything else come through.
It's not often you get an order whilst you're on the high seas and you can fulfill it within minutes of the order arriving. But that's what we've done this morning. So just arranged for some goods to be sent to one of my customers tomorrow. So Andrew, this would be a perfect day for Alison out here. You need to get Daydream out into the high seas. The only thing with running south is we're into the sun. So it's head on into the sun all the way down. We're only plodding along because we wanted to get out of Harlepool this morning whilst we're still on a reasonably high tide, so we could catch some of the tidal stream heading south, but we don't really want to be into Scarborough until around about 4 o'clock, so it's just a nice, steady, very, very steady cruise. It was just too long a push to get down to Spurn, really, because we don't want to push our fuel tanks in terms of risk of bouncing. So we'd always intended breaking the journey at Scarborough overnight, but it would have made it a very, very long day to run from Harlepool to Spurn.
2020, inshot 1 is forecasted 12 miles offshore for the period of 0600 UTC on Monday 21st of September to 0600 UTC Tuesday 22nd of September 2020. General situation: a declining area of high pressure over the North Sea will maintain settled conditions across most waters through Monday. However, an approaching frontal system will bring rain and strong wind to the far north of Scotland.
So here we are, almost back in Scarborough. There's the top there with the castle on it somewhere hiding, and all the way down around this little headland is the harbour entrance, which we've still got to call up. There's the big wheel over there. The beach looks empty. almost. There is a few people on it, and once again we are having to watch the pots. They're scattered all over this little area, totally and utterly.
So, goodbye Scarborough for now. It's been a lovely stop here for one night. And we've got a beautiful day ahead of us by the look of it. Nice and calm again, seas. We want to round Spurn Point at around 5 PM today, no earlier than. The morning mist. Flamborough Head just poking its nose out into that mist. We'll round Flamborough, giving about a mile and a half off. Want to try to avoid the tidal race that we hit last time. It's really hard to believe that we're actually running for home to beat the storm. There is what's happening is there's a hurricane out in the Atlantic, in the Western Atlantic. Now it's not making landfall with the United States, so it's not been in the news very much. And it's tracking up well offshore, a couple of thousand miles offshore of the United States. But what it's doing is it's altering the jet stream that comes across the UK, and it's going to pull down in the next day or so cold northerlies, and so we're going to go from temperatures today are around about 24 degrees inland, not out here, very pleasant out here, but we're going to drop about 10 degrees in a day, and also we're going to get strong northerly winds. So we're running for home to beat that, and we were just in the right place at the right time to enable us to do that. There's the final wind farm, and if we pan all the way around towards the sun, in the far distances.
And turning into Spurn, we head towards our anchoring point. And who do we see? Our neighbours, My Way, sat in our anchor point. Hi there, Mick.
Well, we're now on the last leg. We've just left Spurn, which we only anchored for just over an hour for the tide to turn for us. So we're now heading down the Humber, and what a fantastic sunset we're having. And they're totally different to the last time we came back from Scarborough. Waters are still fairly calm. There's a little bit of choppiness, but not a lot.
So it's good to see our entrance into Hull Marina. Once more, coming in the dark. Getting used to this.
Hey? Alright. Yeah. Okay.
looking forward to returning to our berth. It's been a fantastic trip, 2.5 weeks or so. We've been through quite a bit, weather problems and technical issues, but a fantastic break away from Hull. So thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to see more motor cruising on Ava Grace. And remember, press that bell icon to be reminded when we put more videos up on our channel.